Jubilee Circle's mission is different. If anybody has ever watched our live streams, if you have ever been to one of our celebrations in person, you know we're different. We are not like any church out there. We're not like any other spiritual community. Jubilee Circle, this is a spiritual dojo. This is the place where people come. They learn the inner moves. They learn the tools that they need to become the light of the world, to remember who they are, to remember that they are the light of the world and that their function in this world is to go out and be that light every single day. We are here to offer you the tools that you need to transform yourself, to expand yourself, to understand that you are the light of the world. You are the unlimited vastness of the holy. And we can help you connect, and we can help you find a community where you can grow, and you can be transformed, and you can transform the world. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jubilee Circle. Thank you so much for joining us here in the building and out there on live stream. Thank you so much for joining us all this morning. We are so happy to have you here because this morning we are beginning our new Via. So we had the summer solstice, and so we change our Vias with the seasons. So we are starting our Via Positiva theme of How I Wonder. We're going to be discovering how we can experience more miracles and remember who we truly are when we enter the world of wonder and we see this world through the eyes of the holy instead of, the ego. As a kid, boy, I used to spend hours outside catching fireflies at dusk, right? You got your mason jar, you're catching the fireflies, you bring them inside, you turn off all the lights, and you just watch them. It's just amazing. And then I remember spending time in the backyard, and I would just find where a spider was building its web and just watching for hours as the spider would build her web. It's just so intricate and interesting. And as children, we're easily caught up in the wonder of the world. But somewhere along the way, we lose that sense of wonder. We get caught up in pursuing what we're supposed to pursue, right? Get an education, get a job, build your career, build your relationships. We get caught up in this egoic minutia of life, and we forget that those wonders that we just naturally saw as kids, they're still there, just waiting to be recognized. But one of the greatest wonders on this earth is you. Not just the cosmic you in this universe, but the bodily you that is made up of all of that ancient stardust from the Big Bang. Your heart beats on its own without you even thinking about it or trying to force it. It beats about 100,000 times a day. And you know what? You're going to be fun at parties because that's what Jubilee is for, to give you the information. You can produce enough saliva to fill 2 bathtubs a year. What? Ew.
Thanks for that.
Right. That's a challenge, right? Right, somebody's taking a challenge on that. Let's see. You have a network of blood vessels inside of you that if they were laid out end to end, they would measure more than 60,000 miles. But I don't recommend you try. And you have between 2 and 5 million sweat glands. Right?
I got way more than that.
You got way more than that? It's between 2 and 5, all right? So some people sweat more than others. We live encased in a body that does amazing things, usually pretty much without our input or conscious activity. We also, though, contain that higher divine self that can help us move through this world with a larger sense of joy and love and peace if we're willing to recognize it like the wonder that's all around us and live into it more than our ego self that is concerned mostly with how our bodies move through the world. So today we're going to start to learn how to balance the two and find out how to train the ego to take its proper place as our companion and not our master. Because when we can bring ego and our higher divine self into harmony, that's when we can bring all of our fear, to love and have it transformed into a world that makes everybody say, oh yeah. Please rise as you're able. And we begin each celebration here at Jubilee Circle in the same way. We burn sage as a reminder that this is a safe and a sacred time. We remember the four elements, the fire and the earth and the water and the air. And we call the four directions to orient ourselves in this sacred time and space.
Let us turn and face the east. Holy One, open our eyes to this holy church of the earth that we inhabit. Let's find new ways to love all of your creation, from the smallest creature to the largest tree, from the tiniest child to the oldest of our elders, from the rolling hill to the largest mountain. Teach us, Holy One, to honor all of the magnificent life you have created around us. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the south. Thank you for the seasons of this life, Holy One, the heat of the summer, the coolness of the fall, the chill of the winter, and the thawing of spring. Help us to appreciate the seasons of our earth, and also to appreciate the seasons of our lives as things come and go, freeze and thaw, and ebb and flow. Help us to be grateful for it all. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the west. Holy One, you make the sun to rise and to set on both the evil and the good. Your love knows no barriers, and it knows no bounds. Look upon our hearts this day, Holy One, and help us see others as you see them, as beloved and cherished. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the north. Our ancestors believed in literal heaven above, a true north where the holy resides. Reveal to us, Holy One, the heaven that runs in, through, and around us at all times. Reveal to us new ways to bring heaven to earth for ourselves and for others. Let our lives be, for others, a preview of your love on earth as it is in heaven. Turn back toward the center. We are all wonder-filled, heavenly bodies, made of stardust that has come alive on earth right here and right now. We are all images of the holy. We contain that seed of eternity within each of us.
You need a
that
semester.
seed that returns to the holy when our time here is done. I invite you to cultivate that seed of eternity within yourself and to nurture that seed in others as we grow this Jubilee community in this new virtual world. It is through that love and care that we learn how to truly say, oh yeah.
I invite you to remain standing. We're going to sing a song from Kebmo this morning. It might not be a familiar song, but I think you'll catch on quick. It's called I'm Amazing. If I can find the right pick. Okay. Right. Here we go. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Brothers and sisters, I need to talk to you. This might sound strange, and you'll probably think I'm crazy and I've lost my mind. Well, okay, I'm amazing, I'm incredible, I'm a miracle, a dream come true. I'm marvelous, I'm beautiful. Guess what? So are you. All right, you guys heard that chorus. So to make it a little bit of an earworm for you, let's go back to that chorus and sing it again. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. I'm amazing, I'm incredible, I'm a miracle, a dream come true. I'm marvelous, I'm beautiful. Guess what? So are you. That's right, very good. People, it's becoming clear. I can feel it down in my soul. I beautiful. I'm a miracle, a dream come true. I'm marvelous, I'm beautiful. Guess what? So are you. That don't mean we're better than anyone or anything. It's a call to come together and accept responsibility and be amazing, incredible. I'm a miracle, a dream come true. And I'm marvelous, I'm beautiful. Guess what? So are you. Guess what? So are you. That's right. So are you. Oh yeah. You may be seated, all you amazing and incredible people. Welcome to Jubilee Circle again this morning, and if you're joining us live on the live stream, you can download the bulletin at jubileecircle.com or on our Facebook page so you can follow along. You'll have all the lyrics and all the readings and all the stuff that you need to be involved here this morning. So Jubilee Circle, we are an inclusive, progressive interfaith community here in Columbia, South Carolina, and around the world, thanks to live stream. We teach the timeless common wisdom of love and unity that is found in mainstream religions, metaphysical philosophies, mysticism, and the teachings of inspired secular and religious leaders throughout the centuries. And we seek to create a space for everybody so they can experience spiritual transformation, so they can find life's deeper meaning, to love wastefully, to engage with the world peacefully, to do justice, all in an effort to discover how we can all live in our higher divine self. And we also recognize that we are all part of God's good creation. We are formed in love and in joy, but we humans, we kind of forget that as we go through the day. We believe instead that we are lost in this world of paradox where we encounter others as both beautiful and ugly, or good or bad, or generous or stingy, or loving and recalcitrant, yes. But let us remember, jubilants, our function here is to just continually return to that home we have never left, that higher divine self. While we are here, we become that open channel for the love that created us. So everybody gets to say, oh, yeah. All right. So next Sunday, we're going to continue our Via Positiva theme, How I Wonder, exploring how this sense of wonder can help us create more miracles and remember who we truly are. We're going to use music from Peter Mayer to explore the real meaning of freedom and liberation, because next Sunday is July 4th. And one of the things you will never see in Jubilee is an American flag. And we'll explain a little bit about that next week as why we do not conflate nationalism and spirituality. Nobody's nationalism, not ours or anyone else's, but might be a little bit controversial next week. You might want to tune in. I've got some things to say that you might go, oh, wait a minute. But we'll see.
So like every Sunday.
Well, that's what I strive for, yeah. Yeah, right, yeah, Keith's got to wear his clothes. But if I haven't stepped on your toes yet, just hang on. I'm getting to you. There's time. All right, so this Tuesday, we will do our Jubilee Circle Book Club. We're in the midst of reading Martha Beck's new book called The Way of Integrity, and we will be on Chapter 6 this Tuesday, and you can either meet here at 6722 Notch Road or online. We're doing a hybrid meeting, so that'll be Tuesday at 6:30. Coming up this Friday, July 2nd, is our first Friday open mic and coffee house. Josh McGill will be our featured performer, and he'll start at 7, and then the open mic begins at 8. And this is not a requirement, but just a suggestion, since it's July 4th. Bring some protest songs. Let's do some fun, recalcitrant singing, protesting. There's a suggested donation of $10, and that covers food and adult beverages. And we'll take up a separate collection for the feature performer. So please come and be part of our open mic. It's always fun. Our very own Carolyn Gregory is going to be teaching creating a spiritual practice course. It will be held here on Saturday, July 17th from 10:30 until 12:30. And there will be an online version that we will announce details for on Monday, July 19th from 4:30 p.m. to 6. So she's either come in person on Saturday or online on Monday the 19th. And then Tomorrow Quest, the Improv Theater Company, will be here for a show on Saturday, July 31st at 7. That's $10 for the tickets. There will be refreshments and beverages. And for all of these events, if you've had your shots, even if you haven't had your ears cleaned or groomed or whatever, if you've had your shots, there's no masks required, so that's a lot of fun. So almost like the good old days. And we're still in the process of planning our 2-day meditation retreat. Hopefully that will be in September. The board's meeting soon, and we'll talk about all the details and get that to you just as soon as we know. Are there any other? I just said it, man, July 2nd. Bob, where are you? He was meditating. Yeah, Bob was meditating. They didn't clean your ears when you got your shots. Okay. And congratulations to we have a brand new Jubilee baby. Cal and Rebecca Hillsman. Well, I guess Rebecca actually had the baby, but Cal was involved. So Cal and Rebecca have a brand new baby named Arlo, a little boy. So welcome, Arlo. We're so happy to have. He is precious. He looks just like Rebecca. It's just scary. It's just like, whoa, the Jones DNA is strong in this one. So yeah, so congratulations. We can't wait to meet Arlo. He's so gorgeous. All right. Well, he'll pick his own pronouns at some point. So Arlo, we'll just call him Arlo right now. All right. Is that it? All right. Hear these wise and holy words.
From A Course in Miracles, Chapter 12. To recognize fear is not enough to escape from it, although the recognition is necessary to demonstrate the need for escape. The Holy Spirit must still translate the fear into truth. This is what recognizing fear really means. If you do not protect it, He will reinterpret it. That is the ultimate value in learning to perceive attack as a call for love. For fear is a call for love, in unconscious recognition of what has been denied. Fear and love are the only emotions of which you are capable. One is false, for it was made out of denial, and denial depends on belief in what is denied for its own existence. By interpreting fear correctly, as a positive affirmation of the underlying belief it masks, you are undermining its perceived usefulness by rendering it useless. Defenses that did not work at all are automatically discarded. If you raise what fear conceals to clear-cut, unequivocal predominance, fear becomes meaningless. You have denied its power to conceal love, which was its only purpose. The veil that you have drawn across the face of love has disappeared. From David Hawkins' book, Letting Go. Out of the recognition of who we really are comes the desire to seek that which is uplifting. Out of it arises a new meaning and context for life. When that inner emptiness, due to lack of self-worth, is replaced by true self-love, self-respect, and esteem, we no longer have to seek it in the world, for that source of happiness is within ourselves. It dawns on us that it cannot be supplied by the world anyway. No amount of riches can compensate for an inner feeling of poverty. From the Jesus Story, Matthew 11:28 and 30. Come unto me, all you that are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light.
These are wise and holy words. Thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. Let's stand and sing. And I invite you, as we sing, you can greet one another. And the Via has changed, so the hugging song has changed. So we're doing a little Natalie Merchant for you. So. All right, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Doctors have come from distant cities just to see me. Stand over my bed, disbelieving what they're seeing. They say I must be one of the wonders, God's own creation. And as far as they see, they can offer no explanation. People singing, I'm a challenge to your balance. I'm over your heads, how I confound you and astound you to know I must be one of the wonders, God's own creation. And as far as they see, they can offer no explanation. Ooh, I believe fate, smile, and destiny. Laughed as she came to my cradle. Know this child will be able. Laughed as my body she lifted. Know this child will be gifted. With love, with patience, and with faith. She'll make her way. She'll make her way. She'll make her way. Oh yeah. What's the perfect length? You all got back to your chairs just in time. You may be seated. Pretty good. Oh yeah. Hugs to the band. All right, everybody. And thank you for this band. I mean, Michael has gone on vacation, and his flight got canceled last night because he was supposed to be back this morning. But so he'll Sprinkles will be back next week. But the rest of the band, because they're just thrilling me this morning. We have Janice Mewborn over here on banjo and vocals, Trisha Fopp here on guitar and vocals, Bethany Hart back there on the drums, and we have Keith Grandpa Edwards. Oldest bass player in South Carolina. All right. Well, we'll have to have a contest about that. Oldest rock bass player. All right. There might be some jazz guys a little. Right. There you go. All right. So that's Keith Edwards. Can't shut up. And once you get him started, and Bruce Clark. Bruce Clark over here. He said, "Yeah, we got Sprinkles and Bubbles over here." All right. And Bruce Clark on bringing the lead today. Sounding great. All right. And I'm Candace Chellew, the herder of cats. And if I turn the page, I know what we're doing next. There we go. Woo.
Hey, everybody.
Yo.
Candace is a year older. She had a birthday on Friday.
It's the what? The Anna.
Happy birthday
Oh, thank you.
to you.
On Friday.
All right.
Happy birthday to you.
This past Friday.
Huh?
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. My knees, I won't tell you how old I am, but my knees are 72. And my back is 85. But my heart is still 18. So there you go. That's right. It balances out. You know, the spirit is willing. The body sometimes goes, no, not doing that. All right, our song this morning is a brand new one. It's one I wrote especially for today's message. It's called "There Is a Universe," and it goes a little bit like this. 2, 3, 4. There is a universe inside of you where energy always flows. There is a universe inside of you, where everything that knows there is a universe. Inside of you, where every question gets to rest, there is a universe. Inside of you, life's a journey, not a quest. It's the one wonderness, the wonderfulness of you. It's the one wonderness, the only thing that's true. You are the one wonderness. When it's in me, you are the one wonderness that sets the whole world free. Again, I want you guys to have an earworm. So let's do that chorus together, because I'm making up words in here and it kind of sticks in your head. So let's try it. Here we go. 1, 2. It's the one wonderness, the wonderfulness of you. It's the one wonderness, the only thing that's true. You are the one wonderness. It's in you and it's in me. You are the one wonderness that sets the whole world free. Famous dog trainer Cesar Millan is used to dealing with what he calls red zone dogs, such as Emily, who was a pit bull who took her owner out for a daily drag while barking and growling and lunging at every person and animal that dared to cross their path. So-called red zone dogs are easy to spot, according to Caesar. They're very territorial, they're aggressive, they're overprotective, and they will guard all of their resources, such as toys or food. Recently, I encountered one of these red zone dogs, and it did attack me, and it did its level best to cause me a lot of harm. But the thing is, this is a dog I know really well. And even though I know it really well, I'm not surprised that it attacked me at all. In fact, this dog tears at my tender parts quite regularly. And I have a name for this dog, and that dog's name is... No. The Lord is very gentle with me. This dog is named Ego. How can you even think such things about the Lord? For those of you who don't know, I have a German Shepherd. Her name is the Lord, because the Lord is my shepherd. Okay. And she's a big girl. She's 115 pounds. So she's a big Lord. And she is the Old Testament Lord, but she's very gentle with me. Anyway, in chapter 19 of A Course in Miracles, it says that our egos are a lot like red zone dogs, because it is, according to the Course, our ego is only capable of suspiciousness at best and viciousness at worst. And red zone dogs, they're always suspicious. They are certain that somebody is lurking around trying to steal something it believes it needs. The resources that it believes are scarce in the world, like food or attention or affection. That suspicion can turn to viciousness when its worst fears are confirmed, and it senses that somebody's out there to deprive it of what it believes it needs. And I think we can learn a lot about how to handle our suspicious and sometimes vicious egos from how Caesar handles dogs. First and most importantly, Caesar never sees a dog as hopeless or in need of elimination or destruction. Red zone dogs are that way for a reason, he says, and if you can figure it out, spoiler alert, the answer is fear, but if you can figure out the source, you can eliminate the source, or at least that underlying cause. So when we're working with our egos, it's not our goal to eliminate it, it's not even our goal to overcome it or fix it. Our goal is always to just gently oust it as the alpha dog of our lives, and instead make it an obedient part of the pack where it belongs. Our egos have a role in our lives. We need them. We need them to survive in this world, or we're just going to float around airy-fairy and not know what's going on. But some days that sounds nice. But they have to be in their proper place. It has to be dutifully walking beside us instead of snarling and growling and lunging at the world. That's the only way we thrive. So the proper place for a dog and our ego is as a companion, one that obeys us and listens to us, and not the other way around. And we can take our first step in training up that ego correctly by recognizing that it constantly lives in fear. It sees the world as a scary place where the things that they believe they need are scarce and others are competing for all of those limited resources. It sees the world as completely outside of itself, where it has to orchestrate and control all of the circumstances out there before it can feel any peace or love or joy in here. It views others with suspicion and attacks those it sees as a threat to its bodily safety. Now that's a lot of fear that all of us are carrying around in our bodies, and like our beloved pets, we tend to feel protective of our fear. We see a fearful animal and we want to coddle it. We want to give it what we think it needs to feel safe. But the thing is, as the Course tells us, just recognizing the fear isn't enough. We also have to allow the Holy Spirit to show us the truth that's underneath that fear. And it's the same for us as it is for dogs. We are afraid. Our biggest fear is that we're separate. That we're separate from each other, that we're separate from God, that we're separate from ourselves, that it truly is a dog-eat-dog world, and we don't want to be the dog that's for dinner. But if we refuse to protect that fear, the Course tells us, God will reinterpret it. God will bring that fear into love by showing us exactly what we need to do to turn our red zone dog of an ego into a faithful and loving companion. And oddly enough, it is the exact same thing that Caesar recommends. 3 things: plenty of exercise, discipline, and affection. Breathe deeply. 2, 3, 4. There is a universe inside of you that grows the grass and the trees. There is a universe inside of you that does it all with holy ease. There is a universe inside of you where everything abides. There is a universe inside of you where the suffering of the world subsides. It's the wonderness, the wonderfulness of you. It's the wonderness, the only thing that's true. You are the wonderness, and when it's in me, you are the wonderness that sets the whole world free. I have Cece's attention today. She's like, wait a minute. Oh, no, she's like, you're talking about my people. And so Cece's down here she's going to have to defend her people. She's like, now, wait a minute. You're talking about dogs now. Huh? Were you a red zone dog baby? I don't believe it. She just likes to jump over fences. Oh, baby, she can't do it anymore. She's like, oh. She's so sweet. It's really, it's like a ventriloquist dummy situation here. But it's understandable that we want to protect our canine-like ego because we often treat our ego like we do our pets, especially red zone pets whose dominance we often mistake for competence. The reason dogs become aggressive is because, according to Caesar, they don't have a true leader. Dogs, by their nature, do not crave to be dominant. They crave a steady hand. They want someone they can trust to guide them and protect them. And whenever they feel such leadership is lacking, they do what they got to do to survive. And that can include becoming vicious. So the problem with red zone dogs is that they've had to take care of their own needs and desires for so long that when a leader does finally show up, they resist giving up their viciousness because it's the thing that's helped them survive. And it's become their identity. And Jubilants, that's exactly what happens to us. We all desire a sense of safety, a sense that our needs are going to be met, a sense that we belong somewhere. We want to feel like we're part of a cohesive whole and not just out here in the world all by ourselves and on our own. So when we begin to awaken to that leader within ourselves, that higher divine self, and it begins to assert its proper position, we allow it to do so. The ego, just like a red zone dog, it's going to fight back at the beginning. More suspicion, more viciousness. Because it has lived so long in fear, the ego believes that our authentic self, when it does show up, when we allow ourselves to live in it, it believes that it's here to destroy it. So it lashes out with even more fury. And that was my experience with my own rabid ego dog, red zone ego. Caesar's top recommendation, though, for bringing a red zone dog under control, number 1 on that list of 3, is exercise. And of course, he's talking about literal physical exercise for a dog. You know, he'll put a dog on a leash and let it, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, let it run while he's on rollerblades. And he'll just let that, I'm like, what if that dog like runs over a cliff? I mean, Caesar, crazy. But anyway, so he's talking about, you know, getting the anxiety out of the physical dog, just physically tiring them out, so he can work with the mind. But what our exercise means for our ego is spiritual exercises. If we can alleviate the anxiety of our ego through practices and exercises such as meditation or journaling, yoga, walks in nature, prayer, whatever works for you, then we can begin to work with our minds to soothe the ego's fear of its destruction or elimination. Now, if you've ever rescued a dog that has been abused or watched videos of people who have, you'll note that what removes a dog's suspicion and viciousness the fastest is to allow it space, to let it have time to adjust to its new surroundings. Fearful dogs, like fearful egos, don't trust easily. Sometimes all you can do with both is to just sit quietly with it. Even allow it to run amok for a little bit until it wears itself out. It will try everything that it can think of to get you to react how it expects, to yell at it, to get frustrated with it, or hit it, or otherwise do it harm. So it takes time for both your ego and a scared dog to trust you enough to let you pet it, let alone cuddle it, and show it some affection. And it's ultimately that third step, affection, that we're working toward, that ability to bring our fear into love. And that's where discipline, the second part, comes in. You got to keep working with yourself. You got to keep working with your ego dog, with your red zone ego, for any of this to be effective. We have to start, though, where Caesar starts. And that is by Caesar. If you ever watch Caesar Milan, he never really trains the dog. Who does he train? The owner. Absolutely. We may not all own dogs, but everyone in this room and out there owns an ego. Every single one of them. And how it behaves is up to you. We're not, however, looking to train our ego. Or, wait a minute. Not, however, looking to our ego. Okay. We're not looking to our ego to train our ego. We have to go to our own inner Caesar, that higher divine self. That's the true owner of the ego that reinterprets our fear and helps us set those healthy boundaries and those rules and expectations. And we can only do that by realizing that the truth about both dogs and humans, and that is this: neither of us, none of us, dogs, humans, anyone, we are not our fear. As the Course says, fear and love are the only two emotions that we can have, and fear is always false. It's not even real, because when we believe we are in fear, all we are doing is calling for love. So fear doesn't even exist. It's either love or it's a call for love. And we, like dogs, are calling out for our true pack leader to appear so we can enter that peace that we've never truly left. So if we stop protecting our fear, jubilants, the Course says it becomes meaningless. We deny its power over us to conceal the love of God that surrounds us in every moment. That is the wonder of you, jubilants. You have a universe inside of you that is made only of love. But our fearful egos aren't able to just relax and trust that yet. So we have to live fully as our higher divine pack leader, diligently using our spiritual exercises to tire out the anxious ego so that we can give it the affection it needs to become our faithful companion, and will roll over and sit on command. Breathe deeply. 2, 3. There is a universe inside of you where everything abides. There is a universe inside of you where the suffering of the world subsides. It's the one wonderness, the wonderfulness of you. It's the one wonderness, the only thing that's true. You are the one wonderness. It's in you and it's in me. You are the one wonderness that sets the whole world free. Ultimately, dogs who are rehabilitated from the red zone are those that realize in their own canine ways the truth about themselves. They realize they're not meant to be separate. They're meant to be part of a pack that loves them and protects them. And the same is true of us, Jubilants. We are not meant to believe that we are separate. We become like rabid dogs when we believe we have to fight and scrap for what we perceive as limited resources out here. No, Jubilants, we are meant to realize the one wonderness that we truly are, that vastness of the universe that walks around in all of these various suits of skin and bone and blood. We realize that by stepping into our higher divine self, our higher divine pack leader, who knows how to allow our canine-like egos to begin to feel the love and the safety that it craves. And when we realize our one wonderness, our suspicions are eased, our viciousness is replaced by the true peace and gentleness that created us. Dr. Richard Dawkins writes, when that inner emptiness due to a lack of self-worth is replaced by true self-love, self-respect, and esteem, we no longer have to seek it in the world, for that source of happiness is within ourselves. It dawns on us, he says, that it cannot be supplied by the world anyway. No amount of riches can compensate for an inner feeling of poverty. I want you to feel the power of those words this morning, Jubilants. No amount of riches, nothing out here in this world can compensate for an inner feeling of poverty. If you believe you are limited in here, there is nothing out here that will convince you otherwise. Because our egos are vicious and suspicious. And that ego, it is our inner feeling of poverty. Because it's afraid, because of its fear, that we're protecting, because we think it can't be true that we're that vast. When we talk about poverty, we're not talking about money. We're not talking about material stuff. This is a poverty of love and safety that makes us believe that we are the light of the world. That makes us miss that part of ourselves. That's the poverty. Jesus invites us to throw off the yoke of the egoic burden, all the shoulds that this world loads us down with, all the limiting beliefs we carry around that make us suspicious and vicious. We are not what our egos say we are. We are not limited. We are not worthless. Or conversely, we're not our specialness, parading around as bravado and bluster. The whole universe, Jubilants, the whole universe that creates everything, it's inside of us. Which means we are limitless. And Jesus says the burden that we do carry is very light, because the only thing that we truly carry is love. And that is never heavy. Often, though, we prefer the heavy burdens. We get a lot more attention for that. Our limiting stories, they keep us caught in all our smallness. makes us think we can't be the vastness of all that is. So we allow the ego to tear into us, assuring us with its viciousness that we are nothing unless we prove in some worldly way that we are something through power or wealth or fame or adoration. And we project these limitations every time we say things like, I'm working on myself. I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. I'm trying to overcome my problems. I'm trying to fix my limitations. That's the heavy burden. As long as the ego has you focused on doing something, fixing something, overcoming something, it's going to feel heavy. The world likes to put those heavy burdens on our shoulders, but the heaviest ones are those we put on ourselves. To expect our poor, frightened ego to create a perfect world out here that doesn't trigger its painful wounds. I just need the world to act like this, so I don't have to be in pain. But jubilance, what are you doing to yourself? Take the easier way. Give up the heavy burdens of your limitations. Embrace the wonder of you, the vastness of that universe that is inside of you. You are not separate from anything in this world. You are part of the energy that makes the grass grow. You are part of that energy that creates mountains and canyons and hurricanes and gentle summer breezes. That's what you are. That's what flows through you every single minute. And you are worried about whether somebody likes you? In chapter 9 of the Course, it tells us we have two conflicting views about ourselves. We are either our fearful ego, or we are the all that is. They both cannot be true, the Course says. You cannot evaluate an insane belief system from within it. That's what the Course says. You can't evaluate an insane belief system from within it. You can only go beyond it. And you only go beyond the ego's insane belief system by remembering who you are, the true wonder of you, that you are the unlimited vastness of all that is. We can remember who we truly are. We can only do that when we use those 3 steps to gain the trust of our red zone ego. We develop a spiritual exercise. Whatever spiritual exercise you need to do that relieves your ego's anxiety. We dedicate ourselves to those practices. That's the discipline. And we cultivate a true affection and open heart for our wounded and fearful ego self. We allow it the space to bring its fear to love. And by following these 3 steps, exercise, discipline, and affection for our fearful self, we will be transported to that place beyond all fear, beyond all doubt, beyond all limitation, beyond all suspicion and viciousness. Here there is nothing to overcome, there is nothing to fix, there is nothing to work on in this place of beyond. Here there is only the feather-light load of love that makes fear meaningless and denies its power over us. Here, in this place beyond, you can welcome your fearful canine-like ego, and instead of dealing with it or fixing it, you simply make space for it. Here you allow unconditional love and infinite patience to be shown to that fearful side. Here in this place beyond all fear, you become your red zone ego's leader, not its servant. And when you get there, you will soon find that the ego will sit, beg, roll over, and even play dead. Oh, yeah. 2, 3, 4. There is a universe inside of you where everything abides. There is a universe inside of you where the suffering of the world subsides. It's the one wonderness, the wonderfulness of you. It's the one wonderness, the only thing that's true. You are the one wonderness. It's in you and it's in me. You are the one wonderness that sets the whole world free. This is you. This is me. This is one energy. This is you. This is me. We create infinity. This is me. This is you. It's the only thing that's true. This is me. This is you. There's nothing to undo. It's the one wonderness, the wonderfulness of you. It's the one wonderness, the only thing that's true. We are the one wonderness. It's in you and it's in me. We are the one wonderness that sets the whole world free. There is a universe inside of you. There is a universe inside of me. Everybody. There is a universe inside of you. There is a universe inside of me. It's the only thing that's true. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Smattering of applause. My favorite kind of applause. I love smatterings. Heck yeah. Oh, yeah. Right, everybody. Happens all the time. Free bird. Smoke on the water. All right. I invite you during this prayer time think about how vicious and suspicious you usually are to yourself. That's your red zone. That moment when you say to yourself things that you would never say to another human being outside of yourself. But you seem to want to kick the ego dog now and then. So I invite you in this time. Make some space for that fearful ego part of yourself. It just wants to be loved like the rest of us, like the rest of you. So if you can love that fearful part, even just a little bit, then you can start with the spiritual exercise of loving that fearful part. And if you keep at it, develop the discipline, the habit, eventually you can show that part of yourself, that fearful part of yourself, true affection. You can love all of you. Breathe deeply. 2, 3, 4. What kept me sad was the story in my head about what I never had, what I never said. But I can sing a song the flowers gave to me. It helps me to be strong, it helps me to be free. When I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. When I'm talking with you, I'm talking with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. In the arms of my friends, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. There is a road, a journey we must take. It starts from within, it's just a start away. I can't sing a song the flowers gave to me. It helps me to be strong, it helps me to be free. When I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. When I'm talking to you, I'm talking with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. In the arms of my friends, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. Big finish. If God is all there is, then everything is God. Oh, yeah. So remember, everything you do, doing it with God. I remember, what was her name? Thomasina. Thomasina would always come in and say, it's all good. And it's all God. And so, that is a great message for giving because it's all good and it's all God. Whenever you give, whenever you receive, it's all good and it's all God. And God is what makes it all go around. God is the energy. God is the universe that is inside of you. And what we are trying to do here at Jubilee Circle is help you get to know that universe that is inside of you, to help you understand that you are not this limited being. You are not how you look. You are not what you do. You are who you are. And who you are, who we all are, is the light of the world. And so what we are doing here at Jubilee Circle in the coming months, we were just on the sort of on the verge of this when COVID, the world stopped for everybody. We are picking up again, and so we are going to be doing some workshops. We are going to be looking at ways that we can become that spiritual dojo, that place where you can come and learn who you truly are and learn all of the practices and all of the ways, all of the exercises and the discipline that you need, that you can bring your fear to love, that you can become that affection for your ego. And that is what we are doing here. That is what we ask you to support so we can fund these. We want some speakers and teachers to come in, and you got to pay the bucks to get some of those speakers and teachers in. So we want to do that so we can have here in this community a place where people can come and learn more spirituality. They can deepen their own spiritual practices, and also maybe even some practical types of workshops we've been talking about doing. I don't know, fix your own toilet. That could have come in handy for me recently. But anyway, but maybe even some practical stuff. But we really want to become that place of learning about spirituality, and everything that expands you is spiritual, and that includes the arts, that includes music. That's why we do the open mics, and we want more art here, more art showings, more, arts and crafts, and do things like that. So we got big plans, and if you want to be part of it, you can help us out. We are on Venmo at jubileecircle.com. We are also on PayPal, and you can go to jubileecircle.com and hit the donate button, and everything you need will appear there to make that happen. So we thank you in advance for your support, and we thank all of those who have been keeping us supported, who have been giving generously over the past year or so, and has kept us alive through COVID. So thank you so much. We appreciate everyone. All right, we are going to do our talkback session, and that happens here in the room and also on Zoom. So if you want to join us out there in TV land, you can do so by clicking on the Zoom link at jubileecircle.com, or on our Facebook page, or on the YouTube, wherever you are watching. That link should be there. And if you are going to join us, we'll see you there. If you are not joining us, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we hope that we will see you again next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And until that time, remember those words of Meister Eckhart: if the only prayer you ever say your entire life is thank you, it will be enough, because you will have reached that place of gratitude where every part of your life is something that makes you say, oh yeah. We all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together with hearts and arms open wide. We make our way by walking, in love we will abide. The path is always open, and no traveler is denied. So open up your heart, forget those tears you cried, because we all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. What's that? We all walk together, hand in hand. How long you want to go?
And side by
Oh yeah. Join us over on the Zoom. If not, have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Oh yeah.